You ever feel like everyone else has it all figured out but you? That somehow out there are these ultimate bosses, and they have all this time, all of this energy to get things done. They even know what to do and when to do them. And you watch in sheer amazement, because no matter how much coffee or tea you drink, you still feel like you're not good enough. You still feel slow. You still feel unproductive. And it's not like you're not trying to boss up. It's just that it's not clicking right now. And in this moment of trying to get better, you're like, you know what? I have these self-help tools, and I'm going to do those. So you start with list making. You go out, you buy a notebook. And not just any notebook. You buy the cutest notebook for inspiration. You even download the techiest app for organization. You take it a step further. You might even color code everything. But there you are again. As soon as you cross one thing off that to-do list, in the same breath, you're adding something back. And I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this narrative, but I can tell you I know it all too well, because this was me. This was me. Because what I realized was that there was a better way to do things. What if I told you that by slowing down, you could take control of your time, you can get more organized, and you can get a lot more done by prioritizing, individualizing, and letting go? Do you mind if I share a story? When I was 9 years old, I got hit by a car. I almost died, broke my left femur, took all the skin off my body. And I remember the doctor saying, "You'll probably never walk normally again." I was in the hospital for a few days, and I had a weight at the end of my leg because they didn't have a hip plate for a young child. So I had to lay there with that weight so my bone wouldn't fuse together incorrectly. Eventually, after this surgery, I was allowed to go home after 7 days in the hospital. And I remember walking into my house, and my entire family was there. And it was exactly what I needed. They were there to celebrate me. It was the celebration that my body, my soul, my mind needed at that moment. But what ended up happening was, after that celebration ended, I was there by myself with my own thoughts, day in, day out. And in my childhood home, we have this huge living room window that looks out into the neighborhood. And every day, I would sit in front of that window, and I'd watch the kids in my neighborhood get on the school bus and go to school. I'd watch those same kids get off the school bus and go home. And then I even watched them in the evenings and on weekends have such fun outside. And it was one day in particular, doing my routine, watching everyone in the window, that all of a sudden, I broke down. I started crying uncontrollably. I had no idea why. I couldn't answer those questions, but I just knew that I felt bad about myself, that I no longer felt good, and that I was being a spectator, and that wasn't my role in life. And while I couldn't take steps to tap into that willpower or to figure out strength, what I did know is that I needed a change. Yes, at 9 years old, I knew that I needed a change. I needed to learn how to walk again. I needed to get back to the basics, 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time. You see, what I eventually realized is that you don't get having it all, you don't get to do it all. You actually have to scale back before you realize what all is and what that means to you. And now, if we take it a step further, I'm not saying that you can't have it all. What I'm saying is, when you have this to-do list, that you actually spend all your time doing one thing. And it's not the first thing on your to-do list. Most times it's not that at all. It's the smartest thing on your to-do list. What is that thing that gets you closer to your goal? Once you start doing that, then you create a rolling change. And I'm not telling you that it has to be something big, you have to change the world, it has to be grand. It just has to be something that's aligned with where you want to go. At 9 years old, I wasn't trying to do an Ironman, I wasn't trying to do a marathon. I was simply trying to learn how to walk again. So let's go into the process. What does this look like? What am I talking about? The first thing is to prioritize. What is the thing on your list that yields the greatest return? Do that. That's where we start. It could be something like taking meetings with clients that effectively change the course of your business or advise your business to take it to the next level. It could be setting time aside to plan 2 weeks in advance your kids' schedules. It could also be setting time aside to plan out just intimate time with you and your loved ones each month for a year straight. Next, you individualize that thing. Once you individualize that thing, you attack it with all attention to detail. And don't put yourself on a strict timeline. There is nothing that is done well that will be done in one day. So naturally, give yourself flexibility to really focus on this thing. And finally, let it go. That's right, let it go. I mean, let it go like, bye-bye, see you later. Let it go. It's not one of those things like, I'm done, but let me check on it. No, let it go. And if it's something that is complete, then it's checked off, it's done. But if it's something that creates a rolling change, then 9 times out of 10, it involves other people to offset the workload. And if it's done correctly, it can feel like walking again. At first, it takes you a lot more focus, attention, strength, fortitude. But once you get the hang of it, you do it a lot more cooler, and you can move on. So when thinking about the basics of bossing up, here's one thing I would say, is that maybe you want to scale back and look at what you want first, and then prioritize that, individualize that, and let it go. This ultimately creates a pattern. It ultimately creates a tangible roadmap that gets you exactly where you want to go, because everyone's path is different. I know for me, of course, that young girl learning to walk, eventually she was able to run. And that is what we ultimately want to do for ourselves. Get back to those basics. You already have all the tools, all the opportunities set to be the boss that you were destined to be. So keep that in mind, that not always being busy is being productive, and that trying to be so perfect and having it all is just a form of procrastination. So maybe we scale back, get back to who we are, slow down, because it's not a shortcut that we're doing. It's just a smart cut. And maybe you start with prioritizing, individualizing, and letting go. Thank you.